They said initially short-term memory had gone. I think that's what it was, yeah. And because I really do forget things a lot. My name is Elizabeth Stewart. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
My name is Katherine, and my mom has Alzheimer's disease. The reason they chose my mom for the honoree for the Walk for Memories is because she is strong and she's resilient and she's got a great attitude.
Elizabeth Stewart grew up in Scotland.
I went to school in Scotland, and it was after the war, so we had new things in the schools that other places didn't have, and it was good. I enjoyed school, and I even got to Belgium through the school. They were having things in the schools where you could go and visit other countries. And so I did that. My mum and dad were quite adamant that I should go and see all those things.
Elizabeth was born on Christmas Day, 1947, when her two twin sisters, June and Irene, were 14 years old.
I think it was a mistake. No, I don't know. I think maybe because my mum was ill so much that and then she couldn't have anything in, and I don't know why I was so late, really.
Elizabeth's parents were Elizabeth Fitzpatrick and Matthew Watson.
My dad didn't have a very good childhood when he was young. His father died, I think, and my grandmother had a hard time. And they lived in a little village outside Glasgow. And he grew up there. He was a very hard worker, my father. My father was in a company that made periscopes for submarines, and he just loved working there. He loved his job. My dad was a funny guy. He liked to have fun, and he loved to tell stories. We did a lot together. We went to museums and football, everything. And then he would always take me out for ice cream and things without telling my mum. And my mum was very quiet and subdued, quite shy, because she had spent a lot of time in hospital when she was young. And so she was very quiet, and my mum couldn't read for a while. And because she had spent so much time in the hospital when she was young, and she took it upon herself and went and found this lady and learned how to read. She was so happy that she could read a book. I remember that. We would go and we'd buy books. I have 3 children, Katherine, Matthew, and Richard. When I came to Canada, I tried different. I didn't work at first because I had the children, but once I got into work, I went out looking for a job, and I got Anglo-Canadian, and they're a shipping company. I trained other people with computers in the office. John and I got married. I can't remember now how long it's been. It's been good. Very good with the kids, just took them over himself as if they were his kids. And through John is how I met all my girlfriends here that I travel with, because they all grew up there, and John knows all their husbands, and that's how I got to meet with my girlfriends who I travel with and do things with.
Unfortunately, the journey of Alzheimer's isn't new to me. Both of my grandparents, my mom's mom and her dad, had Alzheimer's. I was younger, I was a teenager.
My mom and dad had Alzheimer's, and I had to care for them. Actually, we didn't know it was so severe. We thought they were just getting forgetful And then it started showing up. And then one day we were to go and visit them in their home, and they weren't there. And we discovered that they went for a walk and they got lost and we couldn't find them. And the police came and says, we can't find my parents. And they were walking down the street and just talking to everybody as if nothing was happening. And nobody touched them. And I kept saying, that's a miracle. My mum and dad walking down there. And the policeman said, I have to wait and see this couple because I've never seen this before. They're so lucky. And they survived it.
It's one thing to see your mother look after her parents when they're older, but to be a younger person helping take care of your mom when she's still young it's a lot different.
Being a caregiver is very difficult because it's your family and they've changed, and you try your best and you feel that it's never enough. You feel I should do more, and it's difficult to watch people who would be so healthy and were fun and looked after you when you were a child, to see them with that disease. It doesn't seem right.
Elizabeth began to notice difficulties at work.
It was starting to get overwhelming, and I think that's when I started having problems, with forgetting things and things like that. I had to get out of the office. I could tell myself that something wasn't right. I was just getting confused. But I didn't want to admit it to anybody.
It's more emotional. You don't expect it. You expect to be, I have 3 young children. I look after them. I didn't expect I'd be looking after my 3 young children and helping to take care of my mom.
My problem was I really knew what was in stock for me because of being with my mum and dad. And I thought, oh, this is it now, it's me. And it was difficult. I didn't want to acknowledge it, but I had to. But then you come to terms with it, and you just have to do it. And you just get on with it. Alzheimer Society have been great for me. I found out a lot of information, and the staff were very nice. My husband and I attended classes called Shaping the Journey, and that was extremely helpful for both of us. We found out information about Alzheimer's and how to react to how I feel and how my spouse felt.
When I went to Shaping the Journey, it was new. My mom was just diagnosed, and so it just gave us a chance to talk as a group and then individually as the family of somebody who was diagnosed, and just to share our feelings and know that we're not the only ones. Just being with my mom and thinking about everything I tried to do for her makes me think about my kids. I want my kids to see how I am with my mom, and I want them to see that's how you should be. And if anything were to happen to me or my husband, I want my kids to know that that's what you do. You take care of each other, and you're always there for them no matter what.
I also go to a program that is called the Early Stage Program for Alzheimer's, and that's been very good to me too, because there's people just like me, and we sit and we talk. I just say, oh, hello, how are you? And we just chat. It's just been wonderful. And I come home and I feel really good. I feel that I've done something, and it just makes me happy, which seems ridiculous. I have 5 grandchildren because I want to see my grandkids grow up, and I want to do things with them. I would hope for good things, but I would love to see this disease just have no more of it. I want to be around when they find the cure. I would love that. And I worry about my children since it's so prominent in our family. And I hope to find a cure for them. I've been, I'm here now, but they've got their whole life in front of them. And I don't want them to go through this.
The Alzheimer Society has a First Link program, and I get calls on a regular basis to find out how I'm doing as a caregiver, and my dad, and of course how my mom is doing.
If you've just been diagnosed, I would say be close to some friends and family, and they're always going to be there. And just try and do everyday things as normal as possible, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I like to help people. It makes me feel useful.
When I look back on some of the moments with my mom since she's been diagnosed, it just makes you more open, and your emotions are raw, and you just sort of say it how it is to somebody now. Don't take those moments for granted.
It's not a nice disease, but you learn to sort of live with it as much as you can. And so I try to look at it in a positive way, because I know if I don't, I'll be useless. But you just find ways around it.
And hope for the best and keep moving on.
You just keep going and going. And that was always a motto in our family. Just get on with it, and everything works out.